very good evening once again. Welcome to our fifth episode. My name is Zachary Kumalo, your host. On my side is Joseph Kimani. We are here to unpack another topic. We will be talking about decision making. Before we can maybe go ahead with our topic today, we'd like to take a little bit back, step backward, and look at what we talked about last time. So, what do you have for us today, Joseph?
Yes, so last week we were talking about conviction and courage, and we discussed that particular topic, and we saw that conviction is a strong belief in something that will also lead you to influence others to follow a particular course.
Oh, okay. So it's actually what makes you to make that kind of a thing to come to pass.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, it's a strong belief that you want to achieve something.
It's the
something.
driving force behind a
Oh,
particular
okay.
cause.
All right.
And then the courage is now that boldness that makes you to follow through a particular course that you've chosen, despite opposition, despite disappointment, despite uh, roadblocks.
Despite discouragement,
Yes.
you know, but you still have got that belief that you
Yeah,
want to
so
achieve
you
something.
still have that belief that
Okay.
it's going to carry on.
So I do remember also we unpacked a little bit of something in terms of the volleyball concept, or not actually,
Actually, golf, yeah, I
the
remember.
golf
It was
concept.
a golf player. So you'll find that most golf players, especially the beginners, you find that uh, the amateur players are very enthusiastic about the sport, and they'll keep going at their target again and again, even after missing the,
The target.
yes. So this is what happens, because even in the journey of life, you'll find that uh, despite failures, despite discouragements, you still have to
Try
to keep at
again
it.
and again.
Yeah, it's no time to give up and
All right.
hang your boots
And you call it off. Yeah.
so that is the same concept that you find with golf players.
Yes, maybe in our today's topic we talk about decision making. To
Yes.
say also there's a little bit of a
And
story.
what we want to talk about as concerning decision making is that you'll find there are people who make permanent decisions based
Over
on very
temporary
temporary
circumstances.
situations, yeah, or
Yeah.
circumstances. So we want to see what is the particular influence that the decision making process has on the course that you take.
Okay, all right, yes. Before, as we move on, there is this part that we just unpacked in terms of a certain book that is called about Who Moved My Cheese. There is something we find interesting in terms of those characters that are found in that book.
Yes, so in the book we have 4 characters,
Uh-huh.
2 little humans and 2 little mice.
Okay. Maybe the first two where you talk of Sniff and Scary.
Yeah, so those are the 2 little mice.
So in terms of their behavior, to say they sniff the cheese where it is before.
Yeah, it even goes by the name. So sniff, a sniffer, the sniff in the book is a character that is able to detect change very early on. And then Scary, being his friend or his partner, together they're able to scurry into action right away.
Yes.
So sniff and scurry, they mean detecting change and then taking action very early on. Yes.
So
which is now opposite to the humankind that we find in the story. Probably you can discuss the human friends.
Because what I'm trying to find out, to say, if you are saying these guys, they're able to detect change, the others, which means they are resistant to change.
Yeah, very resistant to change, and they just like to stay in their comfort zone, and they don't
analyze things.
Yeah, and they overanalyze stuff.
When things doesn't went well, they even find blame where to say someone was responsible for that.
Yeah, so like imagine a situation whereby you're mining gold, And then this particular, no, let's not talk about gold. Let's talk
Okay.
about cheese.
Yeah, because what I understand is just they located to a certain place where the cheese was,
Yes.
but when the cheese got finished, they start complaining.
Yeah, they
To
start
say,
now. That is what inspires the book. Who moved my cheese?
oh yeah,
And you find that the cheese in the book is the literal cheese, but in life you'll find that cheese could be anything. It could be a job. It could be, you know,
oh,
your family.
okay.
Yeah. So things that influence or affect you in your daily life.
So you are trying to tell me that the cheese is not the one that is in my refrigerator. Me, I thought maybe it has been moved to the bedroom.
To the bedroom.
Yeah,
No, no.
yeah, because if you are saying,
That is not the kind of cheese we're talking about. The kind of cheese we're talking about is more
of
grander, or
what you are used to when it is no longer there.
yeah. So, for example, you can imagine, what if the job that you currently have, you don't have it anymore?
Anymore. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Or something that you hold dear.
Like me,
You find-
maybe man, because I'm a football fan,
Yes.
especially
For
Chelsea.
example, especially during this
I
time,
cannot watch that football anymore. So, which means my cheese is no longer there.
it's no longer there. So what do you
So
do?
what do I do then?
Yeah.
You
So
know,
do you turn to watching soap operas? I don't know.
yeah, it's hard, man. I'm trying to adapt. So, if, as much as we are saying, now we have to find out those two characters or those four characters. Where do I fall now when my cheese is no longer there? So, do I behave like Scary and who's that one? Sniff,
Sniff
or
and
do I
scurry,
behave
or
like
do you behave
How
like
and
Hem and Ho?
Uh-huh.
So Hem is one particular character that is very opposed to change.
To change?
Yes, and is also very skeptical
Yeah.
as to any developments that might happen.
So yeah, right now, as I was talking about football, it's hard for me to adapt to that change. So now,
Yeah, so it
without
means
having
it brings you being a typical Hem.
so great, yes. So we are saying, as much as the circumstances there, but it is not there for permanent. So we should be able to ride with the change that is currently happening, so that when the change is over, new things will come to give birth. Like a mother, when he's carrying a child for 9 months, now he's giving birth and he has to go through labor pains and suffering and those tough times.
Yes,
But after
but
that, the
what follows
child
after the childbirth is a
is
period of joy
rejoice.
and
Oh
rejoicing
wow!
and
I never knew.
celebration.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that also is to show us that in this life we're going to experience some challenges,
Uh-huh.
but then how do we adapt to
Yeah,
situations?
yeah, man. As you're talking about that, there's something that I found interesting. You shared to me earlier, that link to the long time or the Stone Age with what is currently happening now.
Yes, it's not
Can you?
actually the Stone Age.
It's what?
It's the Middle Ages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in the Middle Ages we had this plague that was
Okay.
known as the bubonic plague.
Uh-huh.
It was such a serious plague that it swept one in every three people living at the time.
Okay.
But then what followed after this period,
Bubonic.
after this plague,
Uh-huh.
for example, just like the period we're in with this global pandemic,
Uh-huh.
is that after such a period, what followed then back then in the 13th to 16th century,
Yeah.
there was a new period called the Renaissance. And the Renaissance is a period whereby there was a rebirth.
So
So it was
a
a rebirth
renaissance,
in terms of, yeah, rebirth, just like something
new.
reborn, yeah.
So, of which, in terms of that calamity that happened during that time, there was something new that came out from it.
Yes. So it was a period of death that was followed by a period of new birth.
New birth. Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. Of which you talk about new culture was
Yeah, and
developed,
this new birth we're talking about birth in terms
civilization.
of socio-ecological, socio-economic situations,
Uh-huh.
and also change in the social structure,
Okay.
and then inventions and innovations.
Civilization.
Yeah, for example, in also art, like we had these new age or new thinking whereby the human being was the center of all measure.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a period that was called humanism,
Okay.
or which led to like people appreciating art,
Mm-hmm.
sculpture, and that led to also many artists like
Wow.
Leonardo da Vinci, who we all know.
So with that, how can you relate that with what is currently happening now?
So the point is that at the moment there is a period of death,
Mm-hmm.
and it's death in terms of people are dying,
Mm-hmm.
companies are folding,
Yeah.
people are
Oh
losing jobs.
wow. Okay.
But then, uh, what that means is if we position ourselves in such a way that we can take advantage of the period that is going to come, then we can we can see uh, new inventions,
Okay.
new concepts, ways of thinking and doing things. So
All right.
that's that means our cheese has been moved. But then, how do we come back from this situation? We
Of
need to come
which,
back stronger and also more capable of taking advantage of the situations that will be there.
what you're trying to say to us is just that as much as my cheese in terms of football, in terms of maybe academics, in terms of whatsoever, is no longer there. But whenever this calamity is over, new business will be coming out, new
Yes,
ideas will be coming out. But it depends on how you practice in terms of your decision right now, in the circumstance, in the challenge you are in, that it will give birth to something new. If you work on something now, as early as now, even when you're indoors, even when you're tired of washing hands, even when you're tired of doing that. But whatever you have to work on right now in your closet will give birth to new things after that. That's what you're trying to tell us about
absolutely,
the story.
absolutely. I think I couldn't
Oh.
put it in a much better way. And thank you for illustrating it in such a way that whatever it is that you're doing right now is going to have some very
Impact.
major impacts.
So is that the
For
new
example,
birth?
it could have impact in the next 5 years of your life, the next
Oh
10,
wow.
the next 15. Yeah. So this is a period whereby decades are made in weeks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
it may take you a week to come to a particular decision, and you decide to you strategize and see how you're going to carry out your objectives and the
Yeah.
goals that you've set out to do.
Yeah.
And this is a period to do it. And if you
So
do it well, then
it will work.
yeah, you can be sure that in the next 5 years, 10 years, then the story will be very different.
Yeah, because what I discovered in terms of the decision making is this kind in terms of those characters we've shared in the books and the story of the Middle Age, where we are talking about to say there was those calamities and times of obstacles that were there. But what is most important is just that you have to adapt to change.
Yes,
So that the circumstance.
you have to be very keen to sniff change and then scurry into action. Just
Oh
take
wow.
action right away, because that positioning is also very important.
So
The timing is everything.
just like maybe I could just take you a little bit. When we talked about somewhere about vision and purpose. So whereby we were saying even Mandela, he spent 27 years in bars. So during that time whereby he was, but he was persistent and consistent until the change or the cheese he was sniffing for, it ended up coming up.
Yeah,
Even
eventually he was the father of a nation. See,
he
so
gave birth to something
yeah,
new.
it gave birth to a nation. That sacrifice for 27 years was not for nothing.
Oh, okay. So even to us, in terms of the issue of corona, as much as we have to wash our hands, we have to sanitize, we have to keep indoors, we have to do all those things. We are saying to us, we must not take this as a permanent situation.
No,
It's
by all
just a
means, it's
temporary.
not a permanent situation.
It's a pain that we have to go through for a short time. But as much as the pain is there, be able to embrace it so that you give birth to something new after the circumstance is over.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Joseph. I guess you are noting that to say, as much as we are planning the year when it started, we are so much excited. Now things is like the cheese is no longer there, which is some people are losing jobs. A lot of things are happening in the social environment. Panic in terms of the story of corona or whatsoever that is happening, but never stop working on your vision. Never stop working on what you believe in, because when the calamity is over, you have to give birth to something new. But whenever now you decided to be like scary and you complain, you think that maybe the government
Yeah, to
is
be like
doing not
Ham and
enough.
Ho, the two human characters
Oh,
in the
it's
book.
okay.
Then you'll be in for
For a shock.
you will stagnate. Basically, like what's happened is these two wasted a lot of time, whereby they didn't move with the cheese. So by staying at that one particular station,
Uh-huh.
they didn't grow at all.
So getting the other cheese, it took them a long time after.
Actually, sometimes some people are left at the same particular station where they
Circumstance.
are, same circumstance, because they
Mm.
fear getting out of the comfort zone. So, comfort zone is something that you want to forget about. Do not be happy when you're in a comfort zone of sorts,
Okay.
because it means you're not growing at all.
Mm.
And for you to grow, you need to take that extra mile and walk.
The talk.
Yeah, so that those good things are out there. Yeah, and also that reminds me, yeah, as we wind up the show today, this story of Alibaba, we all aware of it. But
Okay.
then, what spurred Alibaba into the market was the period whereby there was an outbreak of SARS in China,
Oh yeah.
and after that things changed and everybody wanted to shop online, and I think the business was just ripe at the moment.
Oh wow, wow, wow.
Yes.
Yes, you also talked about the issue of fear. Someone was saying, what would I do if there was no fear? So what we want to say to you, come out of the comfort zone, come out of the fear environment, start to do what you want to see, because when the issue of corona is over, where will you be? you know as much as new things will be innovated, new things will be dying, in terms of the current circumstance, but new things after that will come to pass. We are saying, make sure you get into action, make sure you pursue, you work with that anger, you become hungry, because only hungry people are
Stay
able.
hungry. Stay hungry.
Yeah, because when you're hungry, man, I think you can do anything.
Yeah. Nothing can stop you.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Joseph, for that. Thanks also for those who have joined us. I hope you'll enjoy our show and you enjoy maybe the time with us. As we are about to wind up, what can you say maybe as your last word today?
My last word is to encourage you to take a copy of that book, Who Moved My Cheese.
My cheese, okay.
And also, it's a very interesting read, and it will take you only an hour or so to finish.
And also analyze yourself. Where are you falling in those characters?
Yes. Just note which character are you, and what can you do to improve your situation where you are.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys. But not forget to make sure that you like our page, you subscribe on YouTube. Till we meet again, same place, same time, same place. Keep safe and do safe practice all the time. Thank you so much and have a very good evening.
Have a blessed week as well.